I haven't used this mower in a couple of, about 2 weeks, I think, since I did that cleanup. And something told me to look down when I came out here to get some equipment for the job I'm about to go do. And there's oil everywhere. And it's not the engine oil. I opened this and this is empty. Man, I don't know what I'm in store for. I don't have no time to stop and get it or look at it this morning. But that's not how I want to start 26 with this equipment. That is not how I want to start 26 with this equipment. Anyway, y'all have a good Friday. I'm about to try to get this job done. Up everyone, welcome back to Grant's Curb Appeal Lawn Care on this lovely January the 2nd, 2026. That is right. Happy New Year. We have made it. This will be, for me, Lord willing, year number 6 as a solo operator of a lawn care business. And it has been a journey all the way up until this point. We all know the ones who've been doing it for a good little while. We all know the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows, the lefts, the rights, all of that. We all know that. So I want to open this by saying, if this is going to be your first year stepping out into owning a lawn care company and being solo or even having employees, tune into as many channels as you can. Take notes, observe things, learn, grow your business, and the best of luck to you. But anyway, I'm gonna meet y'all back on this video here in just a second. Sit back and enjoy, and hopefully I entertain you. So this is one of my regular customers. I have them all mowing season long, and a couple of times throughout the cold months, what little we have here in South Carolina, you know how the temperatures are and the actual seasons are here. I have them on a weekly schedule during the regular season, and on the off season I go out and just do cleanups, as you can see in this video here, just to keep things tight and looking neat around the property. So that's how I'm starting off this 2026. These customers, I have had them all of, I believe this will be year number 6. And speaking from the heart, they are truly a awesome set of customers that I deal with. They make sure everything pretty much is taken care of. You really don't even have to have really much interaction. You come in, you do what you got to do, or you ask them, do they need anything, and you go head on. and get the things done and go to the next property. And what I want you to take away from this is once you get out here, and I guess this video may fall in the way of just helping out people who may be starting this year who just need some advice. Ask your customer base what do they want, what they expect, and what can you do to make sure that all of those are being met. And I'm not saying that to say, don't put yourself in a pickle to where you're feeling like you're being taken advantage of or losing out on things, but you just want to make sure going in that you have a generalized idea of what your customers are expecting from you, and you should have in your mind, if you do your research and homework correctly, what you're going to expect from your customers. I've watched a lot of channels up until now, present day, saying what they're not going to tolerate this season. And for them to come out and say a lot of what they've been discussing about what they're not going to accept this season, that comes from experience. That comes from things not working out how they hoped for, and it was kind of costing them on the backside. So they had to cut ties with certain customers. They had to let them go, and that's how it is when you run a business. Sometimes you got to cut off the dead limb so you can see the beauty of the full tree in front of you. Bad customers can make your solo operation of a lawn care company very, very much a hassle. But a lot of this stuff comes with having to go through it. So my word of advice, and this, I'll just take this segment as my word of advice to those of you who are new going into the lawn care game. A lot of these channels, and I'll say this, a lot of these small channels are experiencing things that you're going to experience right out of the gate. So don't be afraid. Don't sit there and hold a thought or an opinion that you may want to reach out and talk to someone about and not do your homework and research to get some advice. A lot of people have their emails and other social media platforms where they can be reached at in their links and bios. I would encourage you to click on those. If you find a channel that you favorite, that person or persons are doing something that really sets out to you and you want to implement that into your daily operations, reach out and see what kind of information you can get to them. You may even make a brand new great friend along the way. And a lot of people who I've seen on social media become great friends and even business partners with other lawn care companies in their area just from reaching out to one another through, the internet. But anyways, this is for the new ones and even some of the old ones who've been in the game for a long time and just need a new, refreshing way to look at things. So that's my takeaway segment for this video for the new coming up people who are opening up lawn care businesses, rather if it's solo and or with employees or whatever the case may be. Take that advice. Hopefully it helps you out. And I'll be back here again with something else. So sit back, continue watching the video, and I'll chime back in here shortly. Another thing that I want to speak on that I'm taking away personally from a lot of things from last season is a lot of plans that go into what you want to do on a lawn care business has to come from being flexible. You have to be very flexible day in and day out when it comes to running this type of business. There are so many variables that can put a wrinkle in your plans for days and even weeks because of just the simple elements that we work in. We're an outside working type of ordeal. We may have a game plan for a week and the weather can say no ma'am, no sir. And you just have to figure out a way to, battle that hurdle. You hear a lot of companies say that they have been pushed back 1 week, 2 weeks, and I've heard some even longer than that just because of weather obstacles. That is something you have to realize that once you step out on this cliff, especially if this is going to be your only source of income, once you step on that cliff and see that, hey, some of these weeks and days that I'm planning out are just falling by the wayside and things are just not working out. Your finances are looking a little crumbly because you're not out here making any income. You have to be prepared for that. That is coming with the game. That is coming with pure experience from me telling you this. Here in my area, we go through a lot of droughts. A lot of the country here has been through some pretty serious drought measures over the last few seasons now. 2025 season was no different. It got to the point to where you were pulling up to yards and you would literally think it was wintertime because the brown grass was just as far as the eye can see. And you still had companies that were going out here, showing up on their schedule, doing what they had to do. And for me, I know how some of my customers are. I just have to look at the yard and say, I can't go out there and do anything today. I'm not going to go out here and stir up dust or just be out there, putting more wear and tear on my equipment because I'm out there really not doing anything but just running across a lawn. You have to just come to those terms when it comes to how you're going to operate. So the 2025 season, the biggest lesson that was taken away in that season for me, because a lot of videos have surfaced on what everyone's learned from that season, but for me is looking at a week-to-week basis. Luckily, I'm not just full-time in lawn care anymore. I have a full-time job, but that extra income that I do, get blessed with on owning a lawn care business, sometimes when it's not coming in, it actually can affect your finances because every little dollar that you make helps with whatever you got going on throughout your life. So be mentally focused and prepared for the slow season, even in the height of the spring and summer, for droughts. Be prepared to be pushed back because some areas get more rain than others, and you can't go out there and this is just my opinion, but going out and trying to mow a super soggy yard, if you look at a lot of content, the way those yards can turn out, or the tire marks and everything that can just pop up on those yards, don't put yourself in that position. You have to just pick and choose your battles wisely when it comes to continuing services through all of these obstacles that I've named. But anyways, that's another takeaway. Think about not only what the pros of being in business for yourself can be, because a lot of people are going into business because they don't want to work for anyone else. They want to be their own boss. They want to set their own schedule, make their own hours, and get out here and not really have to answer to anyone. We have to still answer to people because we have customers that we have to answer to. If something goes wrong, something goes right, or whatever the case may be, we still have to answer to our customers and clients about those topics and things like that. So we may not be working directly for a company or a department or whatever, but being in your own business, you still have to answer for someone. So just keep all of that in mind. And like I said, get as much advice as you can, and you will be successful. So I'm a hop off this soapbox. I just really want to speak what's on my mind before I close this video out, and hopefully, you know, I encourage someone through this video today. One more thing before the video fully closes out. I just want to drop this little tip out there for those who may not even think twice about it. But if you were watching throughout the whole video, you noticed I showed a water leak on this property. Well, I went and reported it to the customer, and they actually had no idea that that was taking place on the lawn. So my point is, a lot of times, a lot of people don't go around their whole property for quite a period of time. Sometimes they just have one area in particular, especially the older you get, you have those favorite spots around your property that you hang out in versus others. And sometimes you may not even go a full circle around your whole yard. But be vigilant, and if you see something that needs to be tended to, even if it's not even on the lawn care business side, report it to your customers, especially your older ones and the ones who have a little bit of mobility issues. Let them know what's going on, and they greatly appreciate it in the long time, because water leaks, as everyone knows, they can add up in several different ways. One, either the water company can charge you more, or two, for those on well water, the electricity bill can skyrocket. Both of those are just something a lot of people just don't want to have to spend extra funds on taking care of, especially if you see it and report it to them. They can get that problem fixed immediately. So that's just my tip for the video. Y'all have a good one. Until next time, Grant's Curb Appeal Lawn Care. Peace.